And welcome to PapastachePop. So, write a song with two fingers. It's possible. Not only is it possible, I'm going to show you how to do it. And we're just going to take some simple strum ideas, kind of messing around, picking out some single notes, and then some simple chord ideas, and teach you how to write a song. If you're new to the channel, there's always a free link to a video that is not on YouTube down there in the description box. Today's is all about how to tighten up your strumming, how to work on upstrokes and downstrokes, getting your whole strum thing together. So hopefully it inspires you to write your own songs, right? Because that's for me, that's where most of the fun is the creative process. Once you understand a couple techniques, you're on your way. Let's zoom in for a closer look. Check it out. Okay, so check this out. We can do this by just taking parts of a chord. And the two chords I'm basically going to work off of is basically I'm going to combine a G and a D. But you don't really, we're changing, in actuality, we're kind of just changing this G chord. But it's the shape of a D chord, okay? So, for the most part, it's really just these two fingers. And then what we're going to do is accentuate the melody with our other fingers. In this case, I'm just going to use one, okay? And then maybe put in my pinky or something like that to catch another melody note. Now, I'll break down what we're going to do strum-wise. But then we can just take the same finger, keep this finger rooted the whole time where it's at, and then just drop the finger. And what you can do is just move that finger around, right? You have to change the first finger. But you can take a melody line and just really keep it, for the most part, two fingers. Now we might, we might have to shift the fingers, but you really don't have to make it super complicated to get a song out of something, okay? So basically working off of G, D, and then we're going to use this as like a movable bass line, okay? So when I'm at the G, all I'm doing, right? Or let's see, I did. So down, down, up, up, down. And all I did is I put my first finger where that D chord would be, and I kept this as kind of my low bass note, but now I basically got a D chord here that I'm kind of accentuating, and I'm not hitting the high E string for the most part, so you don't even have to hit all the strings either. The great thing is it's easy not to hit the highest string when you're strumming. It's harder not to hit the top string when we're going for a full strum. So in this case, it's totally legal. All right, so we got, and then you can just go down, up if you want. Now on the second time, instead of going down, up, I can do like a hammer-on pull-up. Okay, now that might be difficult if you're new at the game, but if you've got, a little bit of finger dexterity with a little bit of work, it's not that hard, and it opens up so many different possibilities of things that you can do. So all I did is I hit the G string open. Okay, now the trick to hammer-ons and pull-offs, especially on an acoustic, it's not how hard you press, it's how quickly you do it. So if I do the G string open and I don't do it quick enough, it'll mute out the note. But if I hammer quickly, I almost get the same volume that I would from picking it. And I'm just attacking the string at the right speed, so it's quicker than if my finger just hit it and actually muted out the actual string. Okay, so I did hammer, and then I pulled off, and then with my pinky I grabbed the 4th fret of the D string, and then I came back to the G. Right? that time I just pulled off, or anything you want to do, right? We have, right? We can work with the G string 4th fret, 2nd fret, open, D string, 4, 2, open as well. Right? So just using these 2 fingers and outlining a chord, we get to use our other fingers to do a melody line that maybe will be the counter melody to our vocal melody, to really, add some depth to a simple chord shape and progression, especially if you're by yourself. Now, what we can do too is say we want the, verse part to go into a chorus, so kind of like a pre-chorus. Now what I did is I just moved chromatically, which is 1 fret at a time, from the C note, 3rd fret, which is the A string, 3rd fret, to B flat. Now that's a little bit tricky, and then I hammered. Now that in itself is not an easy move, but again, with practice, everybody out there can do it. Now what I'm going to do, again, this finger has not moved the whole time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do downstrokes, and then I'm really going to accentuate that note right there, B string 3rd fret, with an upstroke. Right? And this time I'm not going to go all the way down to the B flat again, I'll just go to D. And it can be one of those songs where the chorus is the same as the verse, right? Because they do that a lot. They just will vary either the duration of the chords, right? So the G is twice as long or half as long, but it's the same chord structure and chord progression. They just manipulate the timing of it and then go to a chorus, or sometimes they just keep it the same. So again, that's totally enough for a whole song. Basically G, C, D. I mean, there's a billion songs written with those 3 chords, okay? So just mess around. That's how we all get better, and sometimes it's fun. We learn other people's songs, but it's really amazing when you take a couple simple techniques that you may have learned from learning other people's songs and you apply it to chords you already know, but then try to create your own thing. It's really, really, really rewarding, and it's really fun. So give that a shot. It's great to learn songs, and obviously we've taught tons here, right? And the other station too, the 102. But I'm teaching you this to hopefully inspire you to be creative and do your own stuff, because it's so fun. And if you're artistic or not, you'll never know unless you try to do stuff like this, whether or not, you could be, right? The lion could be sleeping, and you just need a little something to whoosh, wake you up, and then who knows, you could be the next great songwriter. So give it a shot. Yes! Way to go. Again, if you're new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, especially with the bazillions of channels out there. I'm super stoked you made it. Don't forget, always, if you're new, check, or even if you haven't done it and you're local, check the description box down below. There's always a link to a free video. Sometimes it's acoustic playing, sometimes it's how to get better at soloing, on electric, or it applies to acoustic as well. So there's always something down there. Plus, there's my stuff, papastache.com. All the other links, if you want to, talk to me, Facebook, all that stuff's down there. Over there is Papastache 102. Tons of lessons over there. More catered to electric and classic rock, but that's not the only thing over there. So check that out as well. And I just wanted again to thank you all for joining me. It's amazing. I'm super stoked you're here, that we're just growing like crazy. And I have you to thank for it. So big cyber hug. You guys are amazing. I'll catch you next time.